Everyone, welcome to day 2 at BlogWorld, New Media Expo 2011 in New York City. I'm joined by 2 guys here. Some of you on Stickam might know them. Efron from TechZulu.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
How you doing, Efron?
Pretty good. How you doing?
And Aaron. Who doesn't know Aaron? I think everybody knows Aaron, right?
The man of Stickam here.
The man of Stickam. Andy's missing, and we could just do everything here.
Let's Skype in Andy, right?
Yeah, let's Skype in Andy. It'll be all good.
Nobody's in the office yet.
He's not even up yet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot the time. Are you guys adjusting to the time difference?
No, actually, I've been pretty good. For the most part, I haven't really had an issue.
No issue?
Jet lag.
I don't know. I'm suffering. It was like a 2-hour drive here from Queens. Should be 25 minutes.
That is excessive.
It was brutal.
For sure.
It was brutal. So I want to talk to you guys about what you guys are doing here. Efron is in charge of, you're the creator, right?
Yeah, the CEO.
Founder of TechZulu.
That is correct.
Which, for people who follow the conference scene, know the name TechZulu.
Of course. Who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't know TechZulu? I know TechZulu. I always say, like, how the hell did these guys do this? The setup is awesome. I saw your booth. It looks amazing. What does TechZulu do for people who don't know and are new to this?
We're a technology news company. We're heavily focused on the startup and entrepreneurial world. So we really try to get at the story behind the company, right?
Yeah.
We interview startup companies, entrepreneurs, VCs, and we do all kinds of conference coverage, really focused on helping the entrepreneur.
It is a difficult thing. I mean, to constantly, for the entrepreneur to be up to date on what's happening, right? It is an important tool for you to give them coverage and give them some sort of exposure, because that's what you guys do. If I'm a new media company, I'm attending these conferences, the best thing would be to get in touch with you guys and possibly do an interview with you.
Yeah,
right?
Most definitely. We started out of LA. And when we started doing this, we were heavily focused on the video side, which we started about 3 years ago, actually, by the way. And we were heavily focused on the video side. Nobody was really doing this in LA. Nobody was even doing much coverage of the startup entrepreneur scene in LA. And we were kind of, one of the first out there doing it live, captured interviews, putting it all up there, just really getting the coverage out.
So you deal with a lot of these companies that are here. Have you seen a trend? What is it going to, especially with new media? What's the trend?
Well, video, of course. Video. Everybody's talking about get the video up on your site. You got to do the video this, video that, and and it's true. Video is huge. It's only going to get bigger. And now that all these connected TVs that are coming out this year, at the end of the year, every TV is going to be connected.
See, that's an interesting thing, because there are companies like Revision 3, for example, and they're in the video scene, and they're broadcasting on pretty much every TV.
Yep.
How can an up-and-coming video company, like someone like me, what can I do to pretty much secure a spot with these companies? Is there anything specific that we could do?
Yeah,
to kind of change that for us.
You gotta hustle. You gotta get out there. Yeah. You gotta get out there. You're doing it, man. I see you guys every day, 24 hours.
24 hours a day.
Up and doing it. But make the partnerships with the Roku boxes, because they have the partnerships with the big companies. Do the Roku, do the Boxy TV. All those guys.
Have you found it difficult for TechZulu to? I mean, you have to do these partnerships, right?
Yep.
You have to do these things.
Yep.
What's the biggest issue for you when you're doing these, and when you go into these companies and you're trying to tell them, listen, I do a great product. I'm trying to put my product out there. Put me on your service. Is there a issue at all, or do they see what you're doing and say, okay, we're definitely putting you?
Yeah, well, they definitely take a look at it, and they had judge.
Yeah.
Basically, but you got to have quality content. Make sure it's as high quality as you can get. If you can do HD, that's awesome, because everything's going HD now. But just get out there, make sure you're on a consistent basis. If you're doing a show once a week, make sure it's once a week, every week, at whatever specific time you're doing it.
I mean, and I delivered a speech, and I said consistency is the most important thing.
Consistency is key, for sure.
And the look actually goes a long way. When I started, and I'm going to talk to Aaron in a couple of minutes, I started on Stickam, and the number one question people ask me is that, what do you use for your setup? The setup is an important thing, because I was one of the first people on widescreen. You guys are in widescreen. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. Is it difficult to constantly maintain that good look? What are the struggles of that? Because a lot of people that are listening to us want to get into this, or they are into this, and they're not doing it at the level that they want to be at. What's the biggest struggle you have at maintaining a good look?
A good look. Well, it all depends where we're streaming at. If we're doing the conference thing, we try to make sure we have, our TriCasters out there.
Yeah.
The new Tech TriCaster is an amazing
It
product.
goes a long way.
Yeah, it goes a long way. But, it is a bit expensive. It's a little on the pricey side. So not everybody can do it.
But do you think it's a good investment to start off with that?
No, not start off. If you're going to start off, don't.
If you're going to start off, what should you do?
If you're going to start off, do it as high quality as you can. Get a good MacBook Pro or something like that. Get a nice quality camera, or even like these high def webcams.
I mean,
widescreen high def.
I'm looking at the setup here, and
like you guys are doing an amazing job here. You got 3 high def webcams.
3 high def webcams.
It looks amazing online.
And $70 each.
There you go.
And we're doing it because it doesn't make sense for us to bring the entire studio.
Yeah.
So we have these backup cameras, and I think they do a good enough job.
Look at that. The people that are watching online, if you're listening, go to the GFQ network and check it out. Look, it's an amazing.
Use Flash Media Live Encoder is a free program that.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing a live video, that instantly can bump up your quality.
Yes.
And essentially, TriCaster it's nice for doing the production, for doing live production, cutting and throwing in titles really quickly. But just in terms of sending out a quality feed, all you really need to do is run that program and have one decent camera hooked up.
Yep.
Yeah. Run this free program, Adobe Live Media Encoder, and then it's pretty much.
It looks great.
Yeah.
With TechZulu, where do you want to be? Where do you want to be in a year, 2 years, 3 years? What's your ultimate goal with TechZulu and the company?
The ultimate goal with TechZulu is really to just keep providing high quality content for all these great entrepreneurs. We want to constantly pump it out. Let people know what's going on. We're highly focused in the Southern California area, really trying to promote the community. We're out there doing events. We're doing the coverage. We're doing the conferences. We're doing everything. We really want to focus on getting the knowledge out.
Well, everybody thinks of Northern California when they're thinking of the tech industry and the new media. It's kind of focused there, but Stickam is located in Los Angeles.
Yep.
One of the pioneers of live broadcasting.
Yep.
Who doesn't know the brand? And they're downtown LA.
They're in downtown LA.
And there's some unbelievable things happening over there. So that's your ultimate goal, to kind of bring focus to Southern California and say, look, there are these great things happening, great companies out there, great entrepreneurs. Let's pay attention to them a little bit because some great ideas are coming out of here.
Yeah, well, not just in Southern California. Yes, because we're based out there. We really want to get that word out, but basically all over. All over. There's tech outside of Northern California.
I'm in New York.
There you go.
Yeah, I find it difficult here, and BlogWorld. This is the first year BlogWorld is here, and you're seeing some big companies here, but there aren't too many New York-based companies that are doing this, and I was surprised to see how. Everybody's from all around. Livefire, for example, they're in California. There's Yahoo here. There's some big companies, but nobody's really doing this or what you're doing from New York.
Yeah.
I would love to see.
Well, you guys are doing it.
That's it. I mean, I would love to see more people doing it. Right?
Well, because you're taking up all the broadcasters, man. You're immediately putting them on the GFQ network.
And I have done that. I mean, a couple of guys. I have Lunatic Radio here, which broadcasts on Stickam, and I saw what they were doing. I'm like, where do you guys live? They go, oh, I live in Queens. I'm like, where? And he told me the address. It's down the block from me.
There you go.
Been doing it 10 years. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, come on the network. It's a perfect fit.
Yeah, suck them right in.
So we brought up Stickam a couple times. Aaron here is from Stickam. Everybody knows what a fan of Stickam I am.
That's kind of rhyme right there.
Yeah, I'm rapping now. I'm so excited. I'm sure many people seeing this now know what Stickam is, but tell people what Stickam is and what they do.
Well, we're a live streaming social network, so essentially, we're a social network where everyone's live on camera and live on webcams, and there's people who are there doing shows like yourselves, and then there are people who are there just hanging out, talking to friends, and sort of, socializing and such.
Well, the evolution of Stickam has been extremely interesting because Stickam started as a social site. It was and it still is. It's still a social web network. But it's kind of evolved where broadcasters, mainstream broadcasters, are attracted to Stickam. How has that evolution been for the company, and has the business model changed over time to kind of appeal to both?
Yeah, well, I mean, back when we first launched, we were really just sort of like a widget. The whole idea was that we were just going to be something you would put on your website, and it would have live streaming and video and photo slideshows and things like that. And then, we, as time went on, we started around 2005, with 2006, 2007, the evolution of the space, we really started focusing more on live. But we always had the component that other live streaming sites didn't have, which is having these sort of guest cams where people can interact with you on the channel. So we always had sort of more of a social component to begin with.
Yeah.
But then obviously it became clear that there was a
Very professional, Aaron.
I have notes open to talk about Stickam.
It's all right. I answered the phone during my live broadcast, and I gave somebody directions how to get here. So,
but yeah, I mean, there is clearly a need. People wanted to also broadcast shows and bands and things like that.
Sure.
It's a great tool for musicians to connect with their fans.
I mean, I feel that it's more and more bands are realizing what a great tool it is, how to connect to a whole audience. With the MySpace thing happening, it was unbelievable for bands and musicians to kind of get their product out there, right? It was you were tapped into this already pre-existing network. With Stickam, it's fascinating to see how many bands and how many viewers they get for a band to go on Stickam and talk to their audience and talk to their fans and develop this connection with them. It's amazing how it's kind of evolved into this musician's tool.
I just think fans in general, kids, they'll come on and see their band, and it's one thing just to see them sort of like live streaming a sort of a one-way feed where they're just playing a song or something like that, but as soon as you have that component where they're seeing the chat or they could be on camera, even if they're just there, they're not necessarily talking to it, but they're just there being viewed, that's exciting for them. And if an artist or anyone really says something, in the chat room, they do a shout out or something like that, people love it, and it's just sometimes that's all people want. They just want to have that little bit more of a connection with the artist, and that's sort of like, I think that's one of the powerful things about Stickam.
I think one important aspect is how Stickam has kind of stayed true to their brand. They're about the everyday person. When you look at what these other sites have done, and they've kind of evolved into attracting mainstream media. That's what they've done. Stickam does attract mainstream media. There are tons of celebrities and well-known public figures that come on Stickam and they broadcast on Stickam, but that's not Stickam's goal, right? Stickam goal is to keep their fan base and their user base happy.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm trying to say this as delicately as possible about other people, but other companies have kind of turned their back on who's using it and made it about the bigger names and how to attract them and get that one pop and be done with it.
Yeah, because I think we always want, people, any new person we always love featuring new people and finding new people to put on the front page and just get them some exposure, because we have the audience, we have a great demographic, a very young, 14 to 24. That's our main demographic, and for like a lot of different smaller broadcasters and up and coming bands and that sort of thing, that's perfect audience for them. So people, they're already hanging out on the site, socializing with one another, and that makes them as a great audience for these new shows that we feature, where they could just come in and discover some new content.
What would you like to see out of Stickam over the next couple of years? Where, in your opinion, of course, nothing that's secret or anything happening internal, but your opinion, where would you like to see it evolve to?
Well, I mean, I would like more and more, as basically just seeing the evolution of people having webcams in general. Like, there was a time where nowadays every computer has a webcam built into it, basically.
And now you guys don't have to hand them out everywhere.
Yeah, we used to hand them out.
Is that what you guys are doing? Wow.
Early on, we used to give out webcams because people didn't have webcams. So, obviously on the mobile front, now all phones are having webcams. And, we have a mobile app on iOS, and we have a viewer on Android. But so I really want to see just more and more people being able to just broadcast easily, just broadcast their life, just sort of use it as a tool, integrated with their life. Whenever they want to do something or broadcast, they can just do that and connect with people. That's what I'm hoping to see. One thing that we're doing soon is we're going to be upgrading the group chat rooms to make them more than just a sort of a static chat room where 12 people are on webcam. It'll be now actually groups where people could actually have sort of a community built around these chat rooms. So it's going to have sort of like a profile people could do. It's a bit more integrated and a permanent room for them to sort of hang out in.
Stickam has been around since 2005, right?
Yeah.
In tech terms, that's an old company. You guys have been around for a long time. In TechZulu, you said about 3 years.
Yeah.
And I find it difficult to constantly stay relevant and constantly do something new, because you have to keep your fan base interested. Has that been not a difficult thing, but has that been a priority for Stickam to say, well, we have to constantly evolve every 12 to 24, not even 8 to 12 months. We have to add something new. We have to do something new to keep our fan base happy. Stickam added that the shuffle aspect, and it's quite successful. Do you feel that things like that have to constantly happen to keep everybody happy?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, also just sort of to make more possibilities open to what we could do with live streaming, because it's not, like I said, we're not really just about necessarily having a one-channel feed sort of just going out live. It's not just about that. So it's finding new ways for people to interact, new ways for people to be live and talk to one another and connect. So, yeah, we're always sort of looking for new ways to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a constantly evolving art of broadcasting online, and Stickam has truly been a pioneer in this, and what Stickam is doing, what I'm doing, what TechZulu is doing, it's really like the Wild West, right? Where we're the people just starting this. Is it, in both your opinions, is it a positive or negative thing for mainstream media to come into new media? How does it affect the evolution of new media and people like us that are kind of starting it?
I mean, go ahead.
Well, the whole concept of new media, right? Like it's not new media anymore. It's just media.
It's just media, absolutely.
Yeah, and I don't see really a big conflict with old media and new media coming together, because then it's all eventually just going to become media.
Yeah,
people
sure.
are going to be able to choose what they want to see when they want to see it.
I think it sort of legitimizes the space, really.
Yeah,
like, I mean, that's the nice thing, that people, it causes awareness, and it makes people realize, oh, this is something going on. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, because when people see these bigger companies using it, then they realize people may have not even heard of live streaming, so I think it's always a benefit, or for most, or Twitter or something like that, obviously people, I don't feel like Twitter got really big till like celebrities and things like that started using it. That sort of legitimized the service, and people are like, oh, I see the usefulness of this. So I think any exposure is good.
Efron, when you're interviewing these entrepreneurs, what don't you like to see? I mean, especially in new media, a lot of it is plagued by SEO stuff, right? Well, we'll make your company number one, and we'll put you on the Google Trends. Is that still happening, or is that a thing of the past? Are people realizing that I'm not going to be successful at this?
Not be successful at...
There are legitimate companies that help you with SEO, and
so you mean just SEO wise? Like
SEO wise and search ranking, and are you seeing still these people evolving this? Is this still a common trend
they're
with
constantly
it?
evolving. Google just did their whole revamp of their algorithm, and some companies got crushed. There were some companies who were top ranked, and that's how they're.
But are they doing a legitimate thing, or are they kind of gaming the system?
No. Well, there's some that are legit, and there's some that are trying to game. It's just that's the way it works, and there is some really good SEO people out there.
I feel that there are some great companies, and I met a lot of great people, and then you hear about the bad stuff.
Yeah.
How does a good company, and this has been a question I got throughout the entire conference, how does a good company stand out from the other ones, and how do you eliminate that stigma of it's not going to happen? How does a company do that? I mean, I'm sure you speak to a lot of...
How does an SEO company do that?
How does an SEO company do that? Because I'm sure you speak to a lot of these people.
Yeah.
But what could a SEO company do to separate themselves from the bad ones?
From like a white hat and a black hat SEO type of guy? Okay, well...
Because I'm going to be honest, the first thought that comes to mind when somebody comes over and they start talking about SEO is... Oh, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying all of them do that. There's a small percentage, but I feel that small percentage plagues the entire group, because a lot of people have that idea where it might not be a good thing. Yeah. So what can a company do? I'm sure, because you deal with these guys, you talk to them. What could somebody do to stand out from them?
Well, there's tons of SEO guys out there, and it's really, if you just do really basic SEO type stuff, if you're not trying to do any trickery, putting in tons of link bait type stuff, or putting in tons of keywords, that is like those guys, there's those guys, and you'll get top ranked, but then you'll get banned.
And that's the worst thing you want.
So just make sure whoever you get as your SEO company, they're doing things on the up and up. They're not just putting all this link bait and all this all these keyword search in your code of your site and messing things up.
It was funny because when I wrapped up and I went home last night, most of the emails were about SEO, and they said, can you find out what people could do to go with a good SEO company and not a bad SEO company? And I
well, it's all about research. Like if some random SEO company you never even heard about, go ahead and look them up. Make sure check if they have referrals. Look them up on Twitter. Because people on Twitter will be bashing somebody who's
it's amazing. I use Twitter for everything now. If I find a company's name and they want to talk to me, I look them up on Twitter to see what they're doing. If anybody approaches me I'll talk about them on Twitter,
Yeah.
or I see them on Twitter. It's an important tool. How do you use it? How does TechZulu use Twitter?
Oh, we use it all kinds of ways. We do it for for searches. We do it for promotionals. We do it for games. Hey, you tweet this out, you win this, that type of thing. We use it. It runs the gamut on the way we use Twitter.
How about with you, Aaron? How is Stickam using social media to kind of evolve the brand and evolve their audience?
Well, we have Twitter integration where you can basically, as soon as you go live, it'll send out a tweet, and you can have a custom hashtag so that you can sort of get trending possible if you have a lot of people discussing your thing. And we also do Facebook, so you can put your Stickam player on your Facebook page. And you could also have Facebook chat, so people are discussing it and it shows up on your wall. So yeah, I mean, we try to find ways. Really, with Facebook and Twitter, I think it just sort of helps. It's kind of like a different way for people to interact and communicate, but people, a lot of broadcasters like it because then you're not just sort of within Stickham's realm. You're also going out to your Twitter fans or your Facebook fans, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and it brings in their Twitter and Facebook feed actually brings it into Stickam, so you can see the conversation going on while the actual stream is going on. You don't have to have an extra window open or anything.
Sure.
Like that, yeah.
I absolutely love Stickam. You guys know at Stickam how of a supporter I am, and I've been really following you guys with TechZulu for a couple of years, because when I started broadcasting, you guys were already established. I started 2 years ago, and I would always see your feeds, and I would say, wow, these guys are doing a great job. It looks great.
Thank you.
It's extremely professional, and I hope it continues with both of you. I really appreciate you guys coming on.
No, thanks for your time, for sure.
I appreciate it. We're going to continue our BlogWorld New Media Expo 2011 coverage from the Javits Center in New York City right after this. We'll see you in a few.